And double time, pick it up. Twice as fast, okay? Twist those knuckles. Bring your elbow in. Do not drop your arm. You got 2 minutes. Do not drop your arm. That was good.
Off to brunch with my cousin and my cousins and my aunt and uncle, and it's just, these are very special people to me, my cousins and uncle, and so we're gonna have some and aunt, of course, and we're gonna go have some breakfast at Sham Bar, one of my favorite spots. Just wanted to share on today's episode of the Above Atlas, Adjustment Above Atlas, still trying to figure out the name for this thing. Some amazing insights yesterday from a client call that I had that I could not kind of let it slide. I couldn't avoid sharing it with you. Is a mother of two, divorced several years ago, and feeling stuck in her life. So, one of the things that I've learned, I'm not a relationship expert. It's kind of like taking it from a guy who's actually been divorced. I was divorced several years ago, and what I've learned in the process of healing from stress and in my own journey was the way that we show up in relationships and who we are, who we show up as in relationships of the past. If we don't get complete with them, we keep falling into patterns. And now this gal came in feeling stuck in her life, 2 kids, been divorced, and is now meeting the same challenges. Whenever problems happen in her relationship, she just decides to just peace out on it, which I can totally relate to. That was my story. That's basically how I occurred in my relationship, in my marriage. And so first sign of trouble, I was like, I'm out of here. And so that's kind of like, get me out of here is my current state of being the way that I show up in relationships. First sign of trouble, I'm just gonna leave. And so in my journey of understanding relationships, I'm not a relationship expert, but in order to help myself heal, you gotta kind of understand the dynamics of relationships and communication and listening and all of these things that I wasn't taught in school. Is what basically I've created a program with. It's kind of like I go through shit, then I learn how to overcome the shit, and then I teach it. And so just by listening to the voice inside. And we've been able to help some people transform their relationships, ones that are actually ready to go. They're in this, what I call relationship limbo. So this gal's been in relationship limbo for years. And what she discovered was there are certain delusions that you have. If you've been divorced, if you have a breakup that you're still holding on to, that you don't want to talk to that person, that you're incomplete with, it's because of the delusions that you're having. Now, what do I mean by that? So think about the story that you have about your current partnership that was past, that maybe you're still stuck. If you're stuck in a relationship that isn't complete, stuck in the past, or you're finding yourself meeting the same patterns and over and over again, it's wise for you to ask the question that I asked her to ask, which was, what should be different? In other words, we're trying to uncover and spot the delusions. This is the greatest challenge we have as human beings if we want to really plow through stress. And when we get this right, we are able to handle challenges a lot quicker, is by spotting and getting into what I call overview consciousness, getting out of your current state of being, looking down at yourself, what I call overview. By the way, this is Overview World Headquarters. This is why I love sharing this view, because I get to look at Vancouver from an overview perspective. This is Overview World Headquarters. So from an overview perspective, she acknowledged that her beliefs were he shouldn't have abandoned me. He should have been there for me. That was it. He should have been there for me, and I shouldn't have stayed so long. Those were the 2 things that she's holding on to. And I asked her how she felt about herself when she believes this to be true. And when somebody has the belief I shouldn't have stayed so long, or he should have been there for me, what that does is it puts on goggles in your mind. It puts on a glasses, which force you to see the world as looking for evidence and proof that you should leave. So you bolt quickly, which I know all about. And what happens is you're always looking for evidence that they're not doing enough for you. So this is how she was occurring in relationships. And what we did was we did an overview on it. We went back to the earliest memory where it was happening, and she uncovered the story. He wasn't there for me. He had a job that had them leave to another city where he was getting paid a lot of money, and it involved a lot of training, and she didn't have any friends and family there, but she worked. She got married and moved there, and that's why she got married. And he should have been there for me. And we looked at the validity of that. And the question you want to ask is you want to pull a Byron Katie and ask the question, was it really true? And we went in and unpacked it, and she realized after we did the overview, A, of course she should have been left alone because he was working so much. That was part of the gig. And B, it served her because she wanted to get the hell out of the environment that she was at. And C, she took great care of her and the girls. So the story that he wasn't there for me completely wasn't true. And she saw it was like one light bulb after another. She saw how it actually played out in every single relationship. Oh my God, it's freaking freezing over here. So what we have her do now is to go back, and the way that she gets her life back, the way that she's able to have better relationships, is to go back each of those stories, uncover the truth, and see what he was contributed to her by him, and feel that fair exchange, and then go back and get complete with it. You cannot have completion without a perception of a fair exchange. Thanks to my man Stephen Gardner for that beautiful little piece. And so what we did was we saw how there was complete fair exchange, that they got together perfectly when they did. She left at the right time so that she could find her own power and strength, because she basically was an entitled little brat, her words. And all of a sudden, her victim story has now turned to power, and she's now going back and healing the past. If you want to have a great relationship, then you got to look at all of the past relationships, and you got to get complete with them. You got to do the right work, and you got to find the right help in order to step up and actually get complete with your past. And if you don't get it right, don't expect to have completion and a fulfilling relationship in the future. God bless you, and that was your daily adjustment above Atlas. See, it's a pretty shitty day in Vancouver, although it's still pretty beautiful all the way from up here. Amanda is working away inside, and Lucy, of course, she's doing her thing, but Amanda is working. And what I wanted to do